and we have very much respect for what they do in this field. The only trouble is that their costs are more expensive than ours today.
Hayek's interest in manufacturing goes back to 1956, when he set up a consulting firm in Zurich. He advised large companies on reorganization and investment.
See, I have created a company, Hayek Engineering, at the age of 29, and by the age of 32, 33, 34, I was already a millionaire. And money didn't count anymore. It did count before. If you have a wife, 3 children, and you start without 1 penny in your pocket, you're worried what's happening. But the minute you have a few millions at the banks, and money is an instrument for you to work with.
Hayek leapt to fame in 1984, when his company was asked to advise the Swiss government on a proposal to build Leopard tanks in Switzerland, instead of buying them from Germany.
Nous sommes arrivés à la conclusion qu'il fallait mieux l'acheter aux Allemands.
We arrived at the conclusion that it would be better to buy from the Germans, which provoked a general outcry and brought a lot of political pressure from the Swiss armament industry.
L'industrie de l'armement suisse, mais je dirais Monsieur Hayek, qui est
But Mr. Hayek, who is a man of conviction, went to defend his report in front of the Swiss Parliament, and he maintained our position.
maintenu notre position.
Hayek's report saved the Swiss taxpayer at least £500 million. He emerged with a reputation as a nonconformist and a manufacturing guru. But this confrontational style can make it difficult for those who have to work below him.
I have to leave at 4 this afternoon. Ladies, we have lots to do today.
I got frustrated because more and more he got involved in insignificant details which I really thought this was my responsibility. And when we took decisions together with divisional management of different companies, he reversed these decisions. He wanted to demonstrate that he is the only man who has something to say in that group. And for me, this became difficult.
Being involved in every detail is the job of every chief executive. It's a guy who sleeps the whole day and doesn't know what's happening as an executive officer in his company is not capable of running an organization. That's why we are so very successful, because we can correct every time any mistake any one of us does, including myself.
Since Hayek took over, a long list of managers has left SMH. In 1991, Ernest Tomke followed them out.
Both Ernst and Nick are both brilliant people, I think, and I think they've demonstrated that. They both have sizable egos, and I think those egos clash somewhere along the line.
I threw out of this company everybody who was only matter of fact and was trying to kill everybody else for his career. And I have lots of frustrated people who had to leave here because they didn't have the intelligence, the depth.
I cannot answer for the rest of the people. If the rest of the people who's going out of the company only for the philosophy and the mentality of Mr. Hayek, but I am sure that has a big influence. And yes, he has some dictatorial tendency. That is perhaps good for the money point of view, but it's not a big motivation for people who need to develop new things.
Even those who've stayed admit he's a difficult man to work for. Est-ce qu'il sait écouter, Monsieur Hayek?
Oui, il sait écouter, surtout aujourd'hui. C'est une chose.
Yes, he knows how to listen, especially today, but he wasn't very good at it before. For example, when his colleagues used to explain something to him, after the first sentences, he'd already understood what they were talking about. He'd be miles ahead of them, and he'd practically cut them off and pursue his own ideas.
Well, I think as being a foreigner, he still fights for broad acceptance in the Swiss business community. And sometimes this is difficult for me to understand because he's so talented, so gifted that he doesn't need to show to the community all the time that he's the greatest and the best. And my My analysis of this situation is that he needs his recognition to overcome his personal problems.
Nick Hayek is a workaholic. Tonight he is entertaining a group of astronauts at his daughter's stud farm. Nayla breeds Arabian horses for sale to owners around the world. Last year, Nick made a gift of a foal to the king of Saudi Arabia.
This girl works day and night, walks at 4 o'clock, and when she gets babies down there, she stays the whole night in the stable.
But it's her first baby.
After some determined coaxing from Hayek, Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon, has come out of near seclusion in the USA to promote Omega watches. Dinner cooked by Mrs. Marianne Hayek was part of the deal. Next day, the work continues as Hayek the restless salesman brings the astronauts to the Ball Watch Fair, Europe's most important watch event. Omega got a unique promotional boost when Armstrong wore their watch when he walked on the moon.
You are very much aware of the significance of time as it relates to our position in the universe.
Omega is SMH's money spinner. They sell just 500,000 each year, yet the brand accounts for 20% of total SMH profits. The markup on an Omega is 300%. It takes skillful marketing to create a brand image that lets you charge those kind of prices. Omega 2 has its own unique message.
A watch that's worn by the people who have influence on the destiny of this world.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
For Hayek, the next leap into the unknown is into car production. Last February, he announced his plan to enter the car business with the tiny, ecologically sound Swatchmobile.
We're going on the same message as for the Swatch watch. High quality, low cost, provocation, joy of life. We want everybody to be able to buy this car.
The production Swatchmobile is likely to look different from these prototypes. It will run on a hybrid of petrol and electric energy. SMH have teamed up with Mercedes-Benz to guarantee high safety standards for the tiny car.
The Swatchmobile is a really exciting idea because what it combines is the skills and the traditions and the brand values of two exciting organisations, Swatch and Mercedes. It brings the best of both those organisations together to create what I believe could be a very, very potent product.
Hayek is hoping to sell the Swatchmobile for a retail price of under £6,000.
When can we expect to buy the Swatchmobile?
If you're a lucky man and 96, if you're less lucky, 97.
We'll have to wait 3 years then to see whether Nick Hayek's next industrial vision catches on like the Swatch watch.
I
believe Mr. Hayek is a man above all who does things, who makes things happen. He wants more than anything to show people that progress is possible. He is a man of progress.
To be able to create, which is what Swatch did, created a new segment altogether, this fashion segment, is a great marketing success.
Nick Hayek is a brilliant man. He's an excellent analytical thinker. He has a good feeling for the product. He has an excellent feeling for selling. He's probably the best salesman I ever met in my life. And but as everybody, he has his weaknesses.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for the doubting too, and then he continues, a fantastic poem. Try to read it. If you haven't, he finished by saying, yours is the earth if you can do all this and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. And this is a description of what I believe in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure to see you.
Thank you very much.
I'm at your disposal if you want more details about anybody else. But you see, when I got it at school the first time, I was so excited about it. that I have in every office and at home a book of Kipling's verse.